Hello and welcome to episode 34 of the Your Way podcast. So, this episode is going live on Halloween, and it feels like this is the start of what most people experience as the silly season, where there is just more going on than normal, right? There's more events. You've got Thanksgiving, you've got Hanukkah, you've got Christmas, you've got all the socials, there's lots of things happening. And it can be really, really easy at this time of year to feel exhausted. So many people end up getting to the sort of Christmas break at the end of the year and they are sick because they've been kind of go, 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 and then their body crashes. And so the title of the episode today is Put Your Own Oxygen Mask On First. And this is important all year round. I wanted to talk about it again today because it's especially important at this time of year. Many of you have incredibly busy lives, full, beautiful, busy lives sometimes, where you have jobs, you have partners, you have children, you have family members, you have colleagues, you have clients. You have all of these different things vying for your time and your attention all of the time. And the bit that gets missed in the to-do list of life is you, right? Your wants, your needs, your priorities, but just any kind of time just for yourself. And it's really, really important. Like, I cannot emphasize enough how important it is that you get to feature on your to-do list. Now, ideally, I would love for you to be at the top of your to-do list. And I recognize that that isn't practical for many of you. But can you get to a place where you are at least on there somewhere? Okay. So let's talk about why it can be hard for you to prioritize yourself, why putting your own oxygen mask on first can feel impossible, and some stuff that you can do to start building a better practice of recognizing and meeting your own needs. So I think the first thing is that we get conditioned. We get conditioned to look after everybody else, and that taking care of ourselves and looking after our own needs is selfish, it's wrong. And often women are seen as like the caregivers, they're there to provide like the love and the nourishment. Men traditionally have been seen as the ones that go out and do the work and bring the money in. Like those roles are all mixed up these days. Like people do bits of everything. Um, and we live in a society that is so celebratory of busy, of pushy, of striving, of constantly being on the go that again, the idea of slowing down or taking care of yourself, it's like it's getting much more acceptable now. But it hasn't necessarily been because if you aren't striving and you aren't ambitious and you aren't being productive and you aren't doing something, then you're not valuable, you're not worthy. Most of us grow up learning that we need to succeed and achieve in order to be lovable, in order to be valuable, in order to be worthy. And so we miss ourselves off the list. Another really common reason why we don't put ourselves on the list is because genuinely the people around us seem more needy than we are. Maybe you've got partners with mental or physical health challenges. You've got kids with learning challenges or illnesses or various things going on, or you've just got kids because kids in and of themselves are, they're a lot, right? And all of these demands on your time can just make it practically very, very difficult to find and make time for yourself if you aren't recognizing that that is so important and that you are a priority. Because here's what happens when you don't prioritize yourself, when you don't put your own oxygen mask on first. Well, many things can happen. one thing that will likely happen is that you will get resentful of the people that you are giving to all of the time. And at some point, that is going to spill over into you not being very nice to them because you've had enough. It also might look like you get to a place where you are no longer okay because you've been so giving to everybody else and so trying to pour from your empty, empty cup that there is nothing left. And then it doesn't matter how needy your husband or your kids are. If you've got nothing to give, you've got nothing to give, right? And so, from a selfless perspective, there is great, great benefit in you prioritizing looking after yourself so that you actually have the energy to give to them. And sometimes that's an easier way in to self-care because sometimes we have there's too many layers of I don't deserve this. I can't do this if I haven't earned it. Like, I need to be being productive. I can't just rest. But if you do it from the space of, I'm filling my cup so that I actually have something to pour when my partner, my kids, my clients need me, then that sometimes is a more accessible way in to actually taking care of yourself. And then as we get to this time of year, it can also feel like you've been really rude if you don't say yes to all of the invites, if you don't do all of the things. And so putting your own oxygen mask on also applies to boundaries and the things that you're saying yes to and the things you are saying no to, right? If you do not want to go to something that you get invited to, can you get yourself to a place where you feel okay saying, actually, I'd rather not, without necessarily needing to justify or explain it, right? And if you find it really hard to recognize what you want and need and express it and use your voice and say no, please get yourself to November's Find Your Voice class because we are going to focus on we're going to have a little bit of a holiday theme, Find Your Voice in November, where we are going to look at kind of how you can use your voice, find and use your voice so that you can create a timetable that works for you through to the end of the year. And that will be at 4 p.m. on Monday, the 18th of November. So that's 4 p.m. UK time or 11 a.m. Eastern. Um, so, like, can you get yourself to a place where you are saying no to the things? Um, Baby steps, right? Doesn't need to be no to everything. Just are there certain times or places where you can say no so you carve out a little bit of time for yourself? And can you start to practice giving yourself a little bit of time each day where you get to be the priority? Now, you can start small, right? You might start with 2 minutes, 2 minutes just for you. Can you have a shower in peace? Can you clean your teeth in peace? Can you wash your face in peace? Or if you're a lady with like a fancy skincare routine, can you do your fancy skincare routine in peace? Right? Can you start to prioritize you in the mix? There are too many people that I speak to, and they talk about all the caregiving that they do, everything they're giving to others, looking after the house, doing their job, and all the different pieces. And when I ask them where they sit on that list, they do not feature. Now, I think it's great if you are someone who cares deeply about other people and wants to take care of them and wants to do things for them. That is great, but not at the cost of yourself and your life and your joy. It is not a beneficial thing for anyone for you to completely sacrifice yourself for other people because you won't have the life you want. You won't be as happy as you could be. You will resent them. And at some point, you will get really hacked off. I'm really sad that you have spent your life giving to others and you haven't given to yourself. That doesn't mean don't give to others at all. It's just remembering you put your own oxygen mask on first. Okay. And I had to learn this. I really, really had to learn this. When I was signed off work with stress in September 2018, people kept saying to me, you've got to put your own oxygen mask on first. And at the time, Nat wasn't in great shape either. It was not the best year for us as a couple. Like we were actually fine in our relationship in terms of like individually, our mental health was not a 10 out of 10. Um, and people would say you've got to put your own oxygen mask on first. And I was like, they don't get it. They don't get it because if I've got a cold, he's got pneumonia. So I can't put my oxygen mask on first because I always need to take care of him because he needs more support than I do. Um, Not true, by the way. Not true. Sometimes we have to trust that other people are big boys and big girls who can and will take care of themselves if we just stop bothering them, first of all. But second of all, if you give everything to someone else, then you'll have nothing to give. You'll have nothing to give them. You'll have nothing to give yourself. So, a little bit of a rant today. But as we do come up into a busy season of the year. What am I trying to say? Who knows? As we come up to silly season and things are getting busier and there are more demands on your time and there is more stuff going on, can you get yourself on your to-do list in a way that works for you? Build it up with baby steps. And remember, you do not need to prove your worth. You do not need to earn your right to exist. You are inherently worthy. You are inherently valuable. You do not need to be quote unquote productive all of the time. Sometimes it's okay to just be and do whatever the hell you want because you're a human here to experience some joy and happiness. And why the hell not? So if you are listening to this on the day it airs, happy Halloween. Otherwise, happy November. Check out the link in the show notes for the Find Your Voice class on the 18th of November. That is completely free. I would love to see you there. And I will see you next time. Take care of yourselves. Before you go, I so hope that you enjoyed today's episode. And if you did, I'd like to ask you a favor, please, because the way that this podcast grows and the way that more people get to benefit from these materials is that more people find it. And that means that subscribes and likes and shares are so, so important to this space. So, my ask of you, if you got value from the podcast today, is give it a review, give it a like, share it with a friend, and make sure that you are subscribed. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you being here. And I look forward to continuing to support you to do life, business, relationships, and all of it your way.